Okay, everyone. So welcome. So what I'm going to do is go over how to build your sphere of influence. Now, as staff members, we're going to go about it a little bit different. How you do it is all the same. Before we kind of get into it, what I want to do is talk about why. Why do you want to build your SOI? Because I know everybody says, you want to make a little bit of money, but real estate, it's such a great business. By helping other people, you can really then make some money yourself. And as an entrepreneur, it just makes it even easier because now you can have almost like working a second job without having to leave your house. A woman named Anna Concher, who's a business coach, and she has some points that I just want to stress with you. What makes a good side business? There's a need for it, right? There's a need for something that you offer. We have it. People want to buy a house. We're living in an area where people are moving in, changing, which is one of the best areas that you can actually um, sell real estate in, because you have an even amount of people leaving and entering the market at any given time. There's somebody else is already doing and making a lot of money. There's plenty of agents that we have that just keep their license on referral and make a decent amount of money. It solves an important problem. People need homes, whether it's renting, buying. The best thing about this, guys, it doesn't require you to have a trade or spend a lot of time or spend a lot of money. I mean, that is, I think, the key part that I want you to take away from this. And just having a conversation in your regular daily routine, you could actually pull money in that can help what you want to do with your family. So whether it's, saving money for your retirement, helping kids with a 529 account, buying a family home, you can do that all with real estate. So as a staff, you're not a real estate agent, but you can get bonuses, which will help you do whatever, maybe you might decide you want to get into real estate because you find it's fun. So SOI training, what we're going to talk today about is how to develop a network of content. How do you build this network up from zero? You're going to establish yourself as a brand, and not you as a real estate agent, but the brand that we work for. Everyone knows Century 21. When you tell people you work for Century 21 New Millennium, they're going to know that you're in the real estate business. And so because our company has so many different aspects in it, besides, selling real estate, we have mortgage, we have title. And whether someone's local or they're out of state or they're international, they're all places where you could actually find a fit and help somebody out. That's your brand. Your brand is, I work for a company that is all encompassing. And then you're going to provide a value to them. So how do you provide a value when you're not a licensed real estate agent? Or you're going to share industry knowledge that you learn from our company. We post every month market statistics for all the different jurisdictions. And all you have to do is go on dashboard, take that market stats and post it on your social media. That's it. Just say, hey guys, this is something my company does. Thought you might be interested in it. Just share it. Just put it out there. And what you're going to do is you're going to build trust. And this is how SOI starts thinking of you. So when you're out and about talking to people, you share information. And then when they go to meet somebody else and they say, oh, Susie's having a baby, they need to buy a bigger house. They're going to think of you. They're going to think of, Tommy. Oh, Tommy works for Century 21. They could probably find you an agent. Maybe you don't know anybody where they're moving to. So you want to build that trust of that you are the go-to person, that you can help them. Same thing with real estate agents do. So you're just doing it. And I think it actually in a much easier way than real estate agents have it, because as an agent, when we build our SOI, we're building it because we're trying to sell ourselves. But you are a third-party endorsement, and people like third-party endorsements because you're not saying, hey, it's not for me. I'm showing you, this is our company. This is all the great things that we offer. Let me help you find somebody. Why would you just want to go through the yellow pages, right? So you want to be reliable. And what I mean by reliable, as in you're building your SOI, you want to get into habit of regularly posting information, that you're out there sharing information. You're not doing any kind of bait and switch stuff. You're just being honest. Like, look, these are the market stats. Interest rates have gone up. Interest rates are maybe heading down. This is what we're finding. Any kind of information that's out there that we're doing, or we have a special with any one of our vendors, share that out. It may not give you a bonus, but you know what it does? It gives you credibility that you know what's going on with the real estate industry, that you're connected. So I want to encourage you to collaborate with the vendors, and then bottom line, communicate effectively. And that is, make sure that you let people know that you're in a business that helps other people. So that's when what you want to do is share stories that you hear. Again, make sure they're good stories. Real estate is a business that there's things that go wrong, right? We all know that. But you know what? When things go wrong, what do we do as agents? What does our company do? We fix them. And those fixing stories that you share with, whether it's family, whether it's people that you work with, maybe you have another side job, or maybe it's your spouse's side job, or maybe it's, you're connected with your sorority or your fraternity, or you're the kid's soccer coach, or you just want to go out for cocktails. Those are the kind of stories that you want to share with. And it's personal because it's what you're doing in your life. People want to hear it. And especially if you have a cool story. Like I can tell you one of the stories that I worked on. I sold a house to a person that was their first home. They bought FHA. They were 65 years old, and their kids were the people who gave them the gift money. You know how cool that was? Now that is a good story. If you hear an agent talking about that stuff in your office, share that with somebody. You can share that story if you want, but they're the kind of stories that people like hearing, like, oh my gosh, isn't that great? These people finally were able to buy your house, and their kids were the ones that gave them the gift money. Now, I think that's a wonderful story. So that's what you want. It's about relationship building, sharing things that you talk about. How do you start building your SOI? How do you know who to add to your list, and how do you get out and reach them? So you got to figure out, who are you? What are your interests? What are your strengths or hobbies? What are your friends, family, work? Who do you know? Who do you connect with? Are you single, divorced, married? Do you have children? Do you got pets? Military? Academic groups? Social networks? Sports, charity groups? Your past careers? Are you involved in your community? Think about who you're connected with. See if there's a way of you can either connecting through their Facebook. Are you starting your own Facebook page with them? Or maybe do you volunteer at school? Get yourself some Century 21 gear so people know that you're connected with it. Now, you might sit there and go, oh, I don't want to do that because I don't want to seem like I'm a salesperson. I'm doing this. I'm only out there looking for money. You're not. Real estate can be really complicated, right? If you get the wrong real estate agent and somebody doesn't do what they're supposed to do, being in a position where they're not treated fairly. So when you meet with people, wouldn't it make sense for you to talk with them and know that the people that you give a business to, that they're going to treat them well, right? So we have a group of fabulous agents. They're trained by a wonderful agent, I know, that they really know their stuff. So it makes sense that you would want to help them so they can, reach their goals of where they want to be. So here's a list. I think I handed this out. This was maybe at the last meeting, you guys, of a list that you can start going through of what people you might want to add on to your list. And it goes on for 2 pages that you can take the time. Everybody's going to get a copy of this that you can work. And so this is so you can start thinking of who can you add to your list? Who do you play golf with? So it's important to make sure that you're connecting with all these people. So now, once you have your list of all the people that you want to connect with, how are you going to reach them? Who's your neighbors? Where do you buy your clothes? Do you know any surveyors? Do you know, people from the election board, your CPA, your accountant? Who does your yard work? Social media, you can scale it to almost any level, right? Let's talk about different social media. So we all know Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and all the different stuff, but also social media in different apps. Like, I don't know how many of you are familiar with the Nextdoor app, right? Nextdoor app is a town hall for your local community. It posts missing dogs. It posts, who wants to complain about whose kid's driving too fast or who is doing this. It's a place where you could go and find out about your community. So when we do a charity event in your local office, I would hope that you would post it there, because now you're bringing a part that, look, we're part of the community and I'm part of Century 21. And I am not only just helping people buy houses, but I'm giving back to the community. So within social media, you want to go after either social farming, geographic farming, or occupational farming. So for probably most of you, you're looking at more the social and the geographic, where you're living, where, what you like to do personally. And so, like, I have a Facebook page that's called the Mount Vernon Neighborhood Site. I have Nextdoor. I have a Nextdoor update that I don't do anything except post real estate updates. I have this ladies get together Facebook page, and it's 90 women that we all get together. Who wants to go get margaritas? Who wants to go and see Mount Vernon having some kind of cookbook sale? And I post every now and then, I'll post something that's about real estate, something that's maybe either about market stats in the community, or something that we're doing as a give back to the community. And you know what? Does it give tons of business? No, but if I get 2 or 3 deals a year out of it, for me, just posting something once every so often, that's fabulous. Now, the key is, I really do like these ladies, and these ladies are my friends and I do socialize with. So it's about networking in these group of people that you belong to, part of your life. Why not help them if they know of anybody that wants to buy or sell? If you volunteer at your kid's school, this is a Facebook page I had, and these are my kids. We would do reading with the kids. People know that I'm in real estate, right? These are my neighborhood sites. So I just post stuff, not only just stuff about real estate, but what's going on in our community. And it's a way of being part of it. Now, you don't have to start your own Facebook pages, but just take a part of ones that you normally would, or you would like to be a part of. And you can share with it. I mean, those of you that do Instagram, you can do Instagram as well. Elaine is going to talk about a little bit more in detail about the tools that you have that you can set people up or make it what's going on in the real estate market. I don't know anyone who owns a home that doesn't want to keep abreast of what's going on in the market. There's not one person out there. They don't want to be inundated with stuff, but they want to have every month, maybe, or every quarter, what's going on. Lane's going to talk a little bit more about how to set you guys self up for that, because there are certain things that you have to do because you're not a licensed agent. This is a copy of the market stats look like, and this is for Fairfax County. And look, it's colorful. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is take it, do a screenshot. So you post it on your social media, and there you go. Okay. And it's easy. And if you look at it in just a couple of minutes looking at it, you'll be able to kind of understand and help yourself out, know where the market's going. There's some landing pages that we can do either with Real Scout or Cloud CMA that if people want to just go in and find out about what a house is worth, they can do that. And then the information gets captured. And then and this way you can even go after people that you don't know that just happen upon your stuff. And these are information when I post things that people respond back and say, yeah, hey, can you help me out? Now, the nice part about Cloud CMA, it doesn't give a value like Zillow. Zillow gives a value and could be completely wrong, completely off base. But what Cloud CMA does, it just gives their house will be here and it'll show you what has sold in the neighborhood. And then they can go down and look at themselves. So you're not practicing real estate. They're just getting information and it's say, okay, this house is similar to mine, but it's a little bit smaller. This house is a little bit bigger and it sold for this. And then they feel like they're a little bit more in the know. And like I said, I don't know anyone who owns real estate that doesn't want to do this. And guys, this could also be used for landlords. So if you have friends that own investment property, you could do this in a way for the renting, and they can find out what the rental market is. So they constantly know whether they're on par of what they should be getting renting. And, you could pass a lead on to an agent to have a rental listing, because they will eventually turn into sellers at some point. Now, this is from my FIRE class, teaching with agents, that it's kind of good to know what types of social media content actually drives engagement. Videos, people like videos. Events at your office. Does your office do a wine taste? Go there, participate, have fun, videotape it, post it on social media, say, hey, look how great my office is. Look at what we're doing. Anything that's interactive. Local news, quizzes, surveys. Now, I don't know if you really have to do any of the quizzes and the surveys. That's getting a little bit more into it. But really, videos and interactive stuff always are great things that people like to kind of get back and forth. For those of you that really want to say, hey, this is something I want to think about doing. I want to try to get 4 or 5 deals extra a year for me. Heck, that could fund my kids, their 529 account. And if I do that for 10 years, man, I'm going to be in a completely different space than I would if I didn't do it. And you want to take a little bit more action on it. You can post lots of good information that's a little bit more local by just using Google Alerts. Now, I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with Google Alerts, but all you do is go into Google and write Google Alert. And then you could put anything, whatever school district you're in. So post information about what's school closings. They're raising money for a library. Sobriety checkpoint. You may giggle and laugh like, oh my God, Adrienne, you're going to post sobriety checkpoints on your Facebook? Sobriety checkpoints in our area always come around Thanksgiving and Christmas holiday. And so you know what I do? I go online and I find a Lyft or an Uber coupon. And I write, hey, moms and dads out there, your kids are coming home from college. One drink is one drink too many. Please, let's all stay safe. Here's a coupon, to have an Uber Lyft. Have the talk with your kid. It may be hard, but have the talk. And I post that. They get shared more than any other post that I ever do. That and what's going on in the high school. If they're like some kid did well, they won some award, or they're having a Christmas tree sale or something like that. It's about being a part of your community and letting people know that you work for Century 21 and that if they need anybody, whether it's buying, selling, or renting, that you could help them find the right agent for them. You got to let people know, that you're out there and you're there to help. It's about making it conversation, not a sales pitch. Post regularly, engage with people. When people post things, like it, have the conversation back and forth. Because if you don't, it's like somebody saying, hey, how are you? And then you don't respond, right? Your natural reaction is to say, fine, thank you. How are you? And again, like I said earlier, share third-party successes when the day was saved. The other thing I want you to do, as a staff in our company, you will hear some stories that aren't so good. You will hear deals that fall apart. You will hear companies that may not do everything the way that you like it. Never, ever badmouth another company, another agent in any kind of post at all. Nothing good comes from it. You only tell good stories. Keep that as your mantra. Be the person that's ready to solve a problem. And that's what I mean by knowledge. You're not going to be the one telling somebody about what a good interest rate is, what a house is worth. You're not going to be doing that. You're just showing them, look, you need stuff on interest rates, on mortgage, go to our mortgage person. You need stuff on housing. We have agents in my office that I can pick. You just tell me what you're looking for. We'll get that. And the care part is that you're in it for the long run. You're here to help people. We are in a service industry. We do business to help people reach their goals. And as long as you can embrace that, they are the 3 legs to the stool that gets people to come back and give you more business. Elaine, are you here?
So what we're asking from everybody is to round up 50, might be 05 on your screen, name of people whether that's email address, physical address, a partial physical address, like a zip code of a city, or both. All the above is great. And so I wanted to show you some of the things that we're able to do with it. Now, some of you guys on this call have already submitted some level of SOI, and we set this up last year, so this will seem a little bit familiar. But the things we want to plug in your contacts to are actually the same systems that we're encouraging our agents to use. And it's my job to make sure we're doing it in a compliant manner. So many of you will be saying, I'm unlicensed, so I probably can't be doing this without it being, done properly and crossing the T's on advertising. So I will make sure when we set this up for your contacts that not only will you be displayed, but also a licensed individual from your office will be displayed alongside you. That's usually going to be the branch leader in the office that you're in. So I'll show you some examples. No surprise, we're going to plug contacts for starters into ActiveBite and Real Scout and Cloud CMA to the extent that we can. So I'll show you some examples. All right. So over here, we'll just start with this. This is an example of a Cloud CMA Homebeat report. We can set this up for anyone in your SOI who you have a physical address for. We could do it with just the name and email. It's going to work a lot better, be more accurate, and give just better information if you have some level of physical address information. This can be set up inside a Cloud CMA account that's co-branded to you and a licensed individual in your office. Again, probably a branch leader. I will take care of that. Again, what I need from you is names, emails, addresses of people. I'll take care of the admin stuff for you. So this is an example of a Homebeat. What you can see here is the subject property, which is a townhome down in Leonardtown where I live. And you can see some examples here of nearby properties that are on the market, how they compare. Actives, you will see some single families in here, also some townhomes, because this is a new construction neighborhood. You'll see some actives, you might see some under contracts, closed properties. And this is live data. So the recipient can go in and bookmark this, come back in a week or a month, and this is going to look different. Every single call to action on this page directs back to you. And at that point, you become that person who can connect the individual to experts, to the other practitioners in the field, whether that's an agent, mortgage, title services, whatever that might be. One thing I would recommend for everyone, when you're rounding up your SOI, also include in your list yourself. include your personal email address, include your physical address if you would, because then what we can do is set all of these things up that we're talking about for you. So you can see it the way a consumer would see it. And hopefully that helps you feel more comfortable. I know that's how I learn. Is the first thing I do is set it up. All right, so that's a home beat. And again, we need a physical address for that. Usually a full physical address is going to be the best way to send those out.
Yep, Lane, I just want to interrupt you for a second. And if you don't have the physical address for the person, get with your branch leader or somebody from your office, and the agent can look it up through the tax record. So you just put their name in and you kind of know that they live in generally in what area, the tax record, they can get the address that way. So you could get it's not difficult to do.
Yep. All right, so next I'll show you in Real Scout, we can send, even if you just have an email address, we can send search invites to an account that's co-branded to you and a licensed individual in your office. Again, I'll take care of the compliance side for you. You can set up also market activity alerts in Real Scout, which, like Home Beat, are recurring touch points. You can set them up monthly or quarterly to let the consumer know what's going on around them. Now, I'm using, again, this new construction neighborhood where I happen to live, and it's down in Southern Maryland, so there's a little less data than some of our areas up around the city. You get the idea, as we see on the screen here. The client would get a report that shows them all of the homes that are recently listed or updated, top viewed listings, and be able to go in and browse with all of the detail that is available inside the MLS, but also in an experience where there's no other agents like Zillow. Because the idea is we want to get them off the Zillows, off the Redfins, off the Realtor.coms, or they could go back out to another agent and we lose them. So when you set one of those reports up, this is an example of the email that gets sent. December market update. I'm just clicking into view market activity. My contact information is a little outdated here. I just updated it, but you see the idea of it. So we can set you up for all of those in Real Scout. To set up a market activity alert, these are great for people who you know, but you may not have their physical address. And even if you don't go down the path of reaching out to everybody, hey, can you send me your physical address? I don't have it yet. If you know that this person lives in a given city or zip code or neighborhood or school district, we can apply a market activity alert for them just based on that little snippet of address information. So while you might not be able to set up the Cloud CMA Home Beat without a physical address, full address, market activity alerts great for this. I know for a number of the branch leaders here in the room with me, their folks, they might just include zip codes. For a number of people, they know where they live. So say you've got a list of 100 people and 50 of them, you might be able to say, well, I know they generally live in this zip code. I know they live in 20650 or in the town of Leonardtown. That's good. We can note that on your SOI sheet, and that allows us to send out really a pretty strong market activity alert from Real Scout to them. The last piece of this is ActivePipe, and I'll show you Shannon Perkins' account. So we set this up a while ago. This is an example of a co-branded account. Actually, we see Shannon's smiling face here, and we note that in both the header contact information as well as the footer contact information, this is a monthly ActivePipe newsletter. We see Shannon Perkins, Transaction Operations Manager, and Miriam Spruce Jansen, branch leader and realtor. So that is the licensed person. There is also the office contact information here, and we are compliant. This is an example of one of the 3 campaigns that we would recommend initially sending out to your SOI contacts. The others being a monthly sold report, as well as a quarterly data capture campaign, which is an invitation to update your interests and or contact information. These are the same recommendations that we make to our agents for getting started in ActivePipe as well. So these are just the few of the applications we can do once we have the all-important contact list. And so that's really our first task that we want to go after, is setting up for each and every one of us our SOI lists so that those people can be plugged into, whether it's ActivePipe or Real Scout or Home Beat or any of the other applications that Adrienne mentioned.
Hey, Lane, one of the questions in the chat is any zip code limitations is outside of DMV okay?
Outside of DMV is going to be tough, as in most of our systems, we just have access to the Bright MLS area, as that's our primary MLS. if somebody lives down in Florida or California or New York, we don't have access to that market data inside our systems because we are not licensed in those areas.
And Lane, there's also a question here from Delaney. As a Gen Z millennial cusper, the majority of my SOI are current renters, but are getting married and purchasing homes. Are there any drip campaigns already made in Active Pipe or Moxie Engage that cater to that kind of content? First time home buyer or rent versus buy? Thanks.
Yeah, definitely. They're a first-time home buyer. Active Pipe calls them journeys, but first-time home buyer and or rent to buy journeys inside Active Pipe as well as Moxie Engage. Of course, we know that Active Pipe is now owned by MoxieWorks, but that integration is far from complete between the two. So there are actually separate drip campaigns that live in each system that cater to the personas you mentioned. But certainly first-time home buyers and rent to buy are very common use cases among your peer group, and there are drip campaigns in both systems.
So, Adrienne, thank you very, very much. This was wonderful. Really appreciate the time you put into the presentation and the time you put into the handout. Everyone, Jennifer Price is going to make sure that everyone gets a copy of today's presentation. So again, you'll be able to revisit the list, okay, and some of the ideas that sources, people that you can reach out to find out who do you know who. You know, it's wonderful to have an action plan and to be taught sources, but the real push here is to actually implement and create these databases and really start interacting with the people that we know. Lane, thanks for keeping us compliant always. And everybody, let's see what we can do to really drum up some good, solid business this year.